Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sridhar. I come from Delhi in India, and I came from 47 degrees Celsius. So you can imagine, 1 degree is making such a huge difference to our lives. And what I say may be, controversial, but it's true that we as a society gave ourselves an opium called the United Nations, and we gave ourselves the steroids in the name of multilateral development banks. If we sit down calmly and think, we had the Kyoto Protocol 50 years ago. We here in Stockholm, and our own Indian Prime Minister's speech was very moving, and we said poverty is also a big environmental issue. We continued, but 50 years we have been lulled into this opium of one convention after the other. And if we take even the CBD 10 years ago, the Nagoya, not a single thing has moved, right? And what we have found time and again is we failed something. We failed the Kyoto Protocol, and then we say, we'll have a Paris Agreement. Then we'll have a Glasgow Declaration. So every decade we renew the convention, but no action. But what is the action that takes place? That is the steroid. Like, it might sound absolutely funny, but it's a real thing that recently we were evaluating a commercial hatchery project funded by the Asian Development Bank. Now, it says that the ruminants cause more methane, whereas the chicken doesn't cause as much methane emission, and therefore, it's a climate investment. A regular commercial hatchery project, which should have been funded by a commercial bank, is taken over by a multilateral development bank, a development bank, and it comes up with a very skewed kind of analysis and says that this is a climate finance. So what we are coming up to is a situation that where today we are finding that as crisis continues in Sri Lanka, as Indonesia has increased the kind of duties on palm oil, India has the Northeast, which is largely indigenous communities, rainforests, where now we have decided that 500,000 acres of land will put into oil palm. Not only that, as a corollary to having this oil palm, we have already started a biorefinery with carbon capture, which will use the natural bamboo in that area to convert it into energy, and whatever the kind of emissions are there, we'll trap that, and this is being supported. This research and effort is being supported by some Finnish finance. So what we are finding is that the opioids, the multilateral development banks, go ahead and invest or create the investment climate, which then the Black Rocks and the various other people follow in, and scale it up. That's what is the language that goes on, that we have to scale this all up. So with the result that today we are in a very, very strange situation that when the world is more and more dependent on biodiversity, whether it's for health, whether it's for feeding ourselves, the worst thing is, like yesterday I was in a panel looking at monitoring systems, and when we were discussing about food monitoring systems, We didn't know where the problem emerged when there was a diarrhea in the children in the Himalayas. Whether it was the genetically modified seed, the brinjal that the children had, or whether it was something which was in the soil, whether it was so whatever tests or today's tests only go to the last sample, and so we don't have a linkage of the custody of the sample also, and we don't know where the actual impact has begun. So we are faced now with a situation that we are dramatically reducing our biodiversity, on which our future depends. And at the same time, we are pushing for, you heard all the kind of false solutions that are being, perpetrated. And in this kind of a scene, the only kind of way is how do we seriously question these kind of conventions which lull us into thinking that something is happening and something is happening collectively. And how do we stop these people who are, financing this kind of a destruction? And I hope collectively we'll all be able to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.